All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Mopar Joe. I got inspired by another viewer about Glyptal application. So I thought about I would go over, share with you real quickly your choices for engine coatings and what my personal preferences are, if it matters to you. If you're new into engines, this might actually be helpful. I do have a full video on using and applying the KBS coatings. So if you want to go check that out, I'll put a link below. Also, any of these, the majority of these products will be in my Amazon store. If you click the link below, I've got like engine building essentials that has other stuff from lubes to measuring devices and whatever. Let's get into it. Okay, I figured I'd go through these from what my opinion is on worst to best, I guess. Probably coming in at last for me is this plastic coat stuff. This is actually Chevy orange. I don't remember how I ended up with it, but you see how much is spewed out and whatever. One thing right now, I can take my fingernail and flake that off there. Like it, obviously it was an unprepped surface, but the stuff was always kind of cheap and it would take multiple coats to actually make it look orange. So I'll get that out of the way. This Seymour stuff, I think is actually pretty good. And it's a Chevy orange. I don't use it on my Mopars, but it is made in USA in Sycamore Avenue or Sycamore, Illinois. And this can's from 2016. So pretty decent stuff. I would put it above the plastic coat for sure. What we kind of get into a lot in my area, we have O'Reilly's. And O'Reilly's has Duplicolor. And Duplicolor kind of sucks. I hate to say it, but it does. They can put all the ceramic they want in there. I can prep everything exactly the same. This is my very last choice. And it's so convenient because they have it. A few things I don't like about it, for Mopar people especially, this is kind of more what I think is a Mopar blue. And we used this exact paint can and another one on the Fury that I painted. It was a 67 Fury 440. I just repainted the engine. And this is what he brought me. I said, it looks pretty close to me, but they actually call that their Pontiac blue, 1610 Pontiac blue. That's what we brought. It's what I use. It smells nice, but it'll be off in a few years probably. This is what they're calling Chrysler blue. And look how blue that to me, that's almost a Ford blue. And same thing with this can, 1631 Chrysler blue. I was going to try to shoot a little on something so you could kind of see what it actually looked like. There we go. It's a little bit lighter than this cap, but yeah. So like, like the corporate blue is what I would call it. As we go up the chain, let me find this here. There we go. So here's my VHT engine enamel primer. Any of the VHT stuff I would like if you got to buy a rattle can, VHT is pretty easy to find. It's fairly expensive. That's probably 15 bucks a can or something, but this covers well. It lasts well. I would recommend. So if you have to buy a spray can that's local to you, I think Crow Burlingame can still get this, which is bumper to bumper. O'Reilly's, they can order it in, but it's an ordeal. But here's the number if you like it. SP120 for Chrysler Hemi Orange. Okay. And it is actually nice. It's a nice paint. I like that. That's what I painted Dave's engine with recently. And Dave, he wanted me to use VHT, and I've used it in the past. I said, let's do that. As we move forward and up the chain, so there's, again, Duplicolor. I have them. I'm going to do my best not to use them on anything I care about because it won't stay on. KBS Coatings is legit. I like this stuff. Most recently, Race Hemi Orange. There's a number. Get a pint of it. I've still got about half this pint left, and I've done an entire engine block. So if you had to do heads, water pump housing, all that stuff, you'd probably go through most of a pint. I'm gonna open Chrysler Blue and show you that in a minute. I've got a small block to do, hopefully very soon with it. They do sell rattle can stuff, and this is good. This can of aluminum, I solely keep that for spraying aluminum intakes. Back when I would first buy an aluminum intake, I used to just stick it right on, and in a year it turns white and chalky and corrodes up and it's ugly. You can wipe it off basically with a thinner of some kind and put several light coats of this, It won't blister, flake, crack, or peel. They don't lie to you. It's really good stuff, but it will probably kill you. So be sure and wear your mask and all that. They have their cleaning system. The rust seal is what they also sell. I do that as my undercoat or primer coat for either of these two paints. So, and that's what they recommend after spraying the other stuff that I'll show you later in the video, which is the Rust Blast. Keep it wet for 30 minutes. I didn't even know about this stuff until my buddy Darren Blake turned me on to it, and I love it for everything now. So kudos to them for being an awesome company. They even have a tech support line you can text if you want to. I can't brag on them enough. I want to show you this Chrysler Blue in just a second. Let me show you what the Race Hemi Orange looks like now. And there it is. So this was just one coat. I came back by and brushed around a little bit more. I might have a few little touch-ups, but if you see that kind of silver in there, that was the rust seal stuff I went ahead and wiped on first. And I haven't done these yet. I'm going to probably sand everything out of here before I put my freeze plugs in. The Glyptal looks kind of cool against it just because it's just different colors of like a dark red or orange versus the pretty Hemi orange there. The other color orange I've done like this was on that Dyno 440. If you haven't seen those videos, check it out. That's the video I have of doing the complete paint job on that other engine. So I just wanted to show you that. Also, don't forget, the end of this video, I'm going to show you my Glyptal process. It's pretty simple. And blue looks like. If you need a Chrysler Blue, check it out. If you'll recall, this is going to go on our Little Red Express 360. So I wanted a blue that would be appropriate for that engine. It's the numbers, technically numbers matching engine. And I got our lid popped up here. I have not shaken or stirred this, Mr. Bond. There we go. I think that looks absolutely correct. Ignore the blue stripe. If I mixed it more, that would go away. But if you're looking for an accurate color, that's what I would pick. And we did. And this stuff is a coating. Like it is legit. Whenever it dries, let me show you the paint cup that I used. You're never supposed to just paint right out of the can. Here's the paint cup that I used from the other day. Like, I can walk up and stick my fingernail in it still. Like this stuff it's truly a coating. It's going to take a while to fully cure. And it is curing like a coating versus paint just flashes off. All the thinners go away and you get what you got. So highly recommend the KBS stuff if you haven't seen it already. And I realize there's other companies like Eastwood that make probably just a wonderful engine paint out there. I've never tried their stuff. Let me know in the comments what your favorite is. I'm not begging for comments here, but I truly, sincerely have professional people who build engines and paint engines. Share your process below. Feel free if you got a channel link or something and stick it under there. I'll try to share the process. That's what it's all about, is getting information out. So I appreciate y'all watching. I will leave you off here with my Glyptal process. My first step of prepping this block after I degreased it and pressure washed it was use the KBS Coatings Rust Blast, and it leaves a zinc phosphate coating. So that's kind of what that white chalky looking business is in there. And our next step, see, it's chalkier here than it is there. Let me show you what's coming up. You guessed it correctly. I'm getting out my torch. And I'm drying this sucker out again. That cast iron takes so much water, it just absorbs it and keeps it. We're going to get it nice and dried out and come right back. Here's our Glyptal red enamel. And they give you the directions. There we go. Dry and free from dirt, wax, grease, rust, and oil. Remove all grease and oil by washing surface mineral spirits. I just used some packing peanuts from my 440 source order, stick in here. I'm going to go real lightly around those with a smaller brush. But my larger brush, I can go ahead and get the rest of this valley going on. I try to keep a wet edge instead of just wiping over here and wiping over here. Once you start, just keep pulling it down, dip and pull, dip and pull, and dip and add, and go all the way around. You know, like where it crosses over here, those will be what they are, but as long as you can keep it wet, it'll get into the pores of the block. I've let this cool off plenty, so it's not too hot right now. There we are. If you'll remember, this is a coating, so if you leave it too thin in areas, it will be more likely to break. But I like to have a nice, even deal down it. I'll go a little bit lighter towards the top because I'm not wanting to run it down the brand new decks, but I got that taped off as well. And you're gonna have some boo-boo sometimes, that's okay. Just wipe it off before it dries. See my wet edge, I need to come back around and get these real quick. And I'm just filling in the pores of the block. Come around. And here's what it looks like after it's all done up. This has been curing probably a little over an hour. I think they recommend that you bake it. I don't own a baking oven for this sort of deal, so I'm just gonna let it cure nicely. I had to take a flashlight and really get in to get all the bare spots. I popped my little popping peanuts out of there, excuse me. And for the most part, it did really well. I can take just a really light piece of sandpaper and touch that. It's fine, totally fine. I went ahead and did our front section by the camshaft. And that way, if any oil wants to run down, whatever, that'll be good. Otherwise, I'm ready to paint the rest of the block now. But it won't be Glyptal, it'll be KBS coatings. All right, Mopar people.